Nigeria's apex bank, CBN, has announced that bank accounts that are not linked to a bank verification number, BVN, and national identity number, NIN, by April 2024 will be frozen. The CBN gave this warning on December 1st, 2023, in a circular sent to banks saying the new directive is to promote financial system stability and strengthen the Know Your Customer procedures in all financial institutions. But some say there seems to be more to the move.
Now, to combating Tier 1 fraud, the CBN said it is working with the Nigerian interbank settlement system to, of course, combat fraud. And one of the most major loopholes fraudsters use is a Tier 1 bank account, which do not have or require NIN or BVN to be opened, making them easy for fraudsters to set up. Now, consequently, the CBN has mandated all Tier 1, 2, and 3 accounts to be linked to a BVN or NIN.
Now, joining us live this morning in the studio is Olusegun Enitan, Dada. He's the founder, CEO, Zojapay, and he's joining us to talk about this. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
I think the first thing we want to find out, first of all, is a number of Nigerians are surprised to see that there are actually bank accounts without BVN and without NIN, because there was a time when there was a huge clamor for everyone to go and register for their BVN and NIN, such that it looked like your financial life will shut down if you didn't do that. So first of all, we were shocked that there are bank accounts that run without that. And then I think the next question will be, is there really cause to panic?
Okay. The first question regarding people being surprised if they are bank accounts without BVN or NIN. The answer to that is yes. There are a lot of bank accounts without the BVN or NIN, and this is a very major problem, a serious problem in which the CBN is really trying to address. And I agree with the CBN, with the policy that is being done, especially looking at a lot of various challenges we've encountered in the past couple of months and even years as a country. And that a lot of fraud that occurs even with various accounts. You might be surprised, a 20,000 naira in multiple places, it's a whole lot. And again, this happens to a lot of, even the not so well-to-do, Nigerians. So basically, that is currently in place. And like you also rightly said, there was a time everyone were really running around trying to, register for their BVN, for their NIN. So what is really going on? Looking at the statistics from NAPS, as of October, you'll be surprised and shocked that we only have around 60 million registered BVN users, 60 million. However, there's a good news. For NIN, we have like 103 million registered users. And I say good news because before now, a lot of the things that is really required, even for a Taiwan account registration, is BVN. But with this new policy, there's an opportunity for everyone to really get easily onboarded without any cause of troubles or alarms.
So, so should it be a problem, looking at the disparity with the figures? You've said 103 million, NIN, but I think I saw 57, but it's about 60 million with the BVN. But Nigerians, with bank accounts are way more than 100 million, So should that be, something that these people or these individuals should be worried about if the CBN, because they did threaten to do this before, but they extended the deadline. So should they be worried, and of course, is it possible that, this gap could be closed between now and 2024, April 2024?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say it's possible for the gap to be closed. And how can that be possible and achieved is also with proper engagement with all necessary stakeholders, and which is very important to be done by CBN. Also, regarding the numbers disparity, looking at the numbers and the accounts. Yes, there are a lot of accounts more than the numbers of BVN or NIN we have today. But however, you can be rest assured that a lot of the accounts, some of them are duplicate accounts, one. And apart from duplicate accounts also.
What's a duplicate account?
Okay, so a user having multiple accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. So also, apart from that, one of the other things is like I said, we have 103 in terms of NIN, and we have BVN. The truth is, a lot of the accounts that we don't have any registration link on, it's even more from users that have NIN. And to be sincere with you, with the automation system we have today, any user can be able to easily attach their NIN or BVN to their account at anywhere and anytime they feel like, because technology has really advanced, and also you could even see what the Minister for Innovation is also really doing when it comes to technology advancement in the country. And with this, you can be rest assured that within even April next year, for me, I really see it as even, it's more than enough, really. But however, we also understand some of the little challenges we have here and there in terms of awareness, which needs to really happen a lot. Because without proper awareness, people might not be well informed to be able to know what needs to be done, especially those in the rural area. But you can rest assured that with the digital banking that we've had across all platforms, it's possible for this goal to be achieved.
We've raised a very valid point. Those in the rural areas, we have a large number of people who are, unbanked. We'll come to talk about that later. But I want to ask you: is there a guarantee, a sure guarantee, that if everyone registers with their BVN and their NIN, we will see an end to internet fraud and the banking scams that we see? Because they use account numbers. They tried with someone I know last week, and they put banks and bank account numbers. So are we saying for sure that we know for sure that once everyone registers with their BVN and NIN, we'll see an end to these internet fraudsters and we'll be able to maybe trace who these fraudsters are?
Okay, that question is really dicey, but I would say this: in security, there's what they call about security is security upon security. But however, there is a need for a foundation, there's a need for a start, and the start is really what CBN is doing today. Even in developed countries today that are even so much advanced, you still see some form of fraud happening here and there. But however, it's not as rampant the way it is currently in Nigeria. With the BVN and NIN in place, you can be rest assured that the current situation we have will reduce drastically. Drastically, and also to help the regulatory authorities to be able to properly monitor and know what happens, who does what, and the like. Let me give you an instance. For example, we had an account that was open, like with Zojapay. We don't open an account without you putting your BVN or your NIN. If you don't have that, no account will be opened. There was a transaction that happened at a particular point in time in which we were notified, even by the other bank, and immediately we were able to put a no post debit or credit on the account, and we were able to provide the user's details to the sender bank, and immediately actions were taken and the user was apprehended.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And I think it was one of the things I also wanted to mention, about the security of these new payment platforms and these new, there's a lot of, I don't know if to call them, banks that, have emerged in the last 1 year in Nigeria to make transactions a lot easier. Those, and of course, those have also made a lot of the unbanked, find it easier rather to get a bank account. So are these platforms, including yours, also taking these things very seriously?
I would say yes, for us, and also I know for quite a lot of others also. But also going back to the main fundamentals of why do we even have a lot of bank accounts without BVN or NIN. This also goes back to trying to be, the level of flexibility, which is something that needs to be well balanced, flexibility and security. While trying to make things easily accessible for users, you also need to be rest assured, or you also need to ensure that the level of security is also in place, because there is no need to make things flexible and at the end of the day, security is not in place. So looking at all that, for us, we've put all of these things into consideration. Like I mentioned earlier, at Zojapay, no user account is created without NIN or BVN. And also we ensure that our KYC is fully intact with all and every of our users. And even outside that, we also ensure that we are also in accordance with the CBN policy when it comes to the various limits as it relates to the various types of accounts from the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and there are various requirements that users need to meet for them to be able to move to various ties.
So when a bank account has its BVN and NIN, it becomes more secure, is it?
It becomes secure for the regulators to be able to properly monitor, what happens within that
with the bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you say that you're going to close or shut down some of these bank accounts that don't have BVN and NINs, it doesn't necessarily stop the fraud, does it?
Okay, so I mentioned something earlier about awareness. Even with the BVN and NIN, awareness is still something that is very, very key. For example, today, how well are people, getting to know that, look, there are a lot of steps you need to take when trying to make transactions to individuals, especially even with the digital banking we have today. It's different when you have to go to the bank, write your teller, and all those things. There are some various checks and balances that could be done. But with your phone, you can be able to do anything at any point in time. So there just needs to be continuous awareness. Now, apart from that also, the providers of all the services also need to ensure that their systems are well secure from hackers, secure from intruders, and ensuring that the users only also authorize. So, for example, one of the things we do at Zojapay is, apart from the initial registration you do that ensures that you are the owner of the account, at intervals we also do some other form of verifications. So, for example, at the point in time, you might just be required to upload your face recognition. You might be required to re-authenticate for us to be sure that we are still really dealing with the right users, and there are various methods we use for this.
All right, just to quickly confirm that all these other banking platforms such as yours, does this directive by the CBN affects or includes your own platforms as well, right?
Yes, it includes every platform,
okay.
all financial and non-financial banking. Okay. It includes every platform. And for me, I mentioned something earlier about the opportunities. I really see a lot of opportunities here, and I see a lot of even this bringing more about automation and integration. For example, today, like I said, the NIN, we have a lot of users more than BVN. I see a platform, which for us right now, it's what we're trying to immediately start doing. With NIN registration, if a user can be able to register with his or her NIN at level 1, there is no reason why we cannot be able to immediately use that user record, use that data to be able to automatically register the user for BVN if the user does not have BVN. Because what we need for BVN is basically the user details, which NIN already has. And now that NIN is allowed to be used for level 1, why not we kickstart? And that would also mean that users don't need to try to go down to their physical bank.
But that's a major concern that we'll start seeing the banks crowded.
But no, but I would say this: users do not need to panic. I believe that other banks like ours are also thinking of this to be able to ensure that they put the flexibility, and where that is where flexibility comes in, to help the user, to make it easy for the user not to go through various difficulties in ensuring that they're able to duly update their bank account with necessary KYC information. All
right, just also quickly clarify that it's not that they're shutting these accounts completely. They're putting a post-no debit or credit on these accounts that are without BVN and NIN effective March 1st, 2024?
So, yes. And just to be more specific also, for accounts that are not funded yet, immediately the post-on debit will occur. So for the ones that are funded would occur as of March 2024 to give everyone appropriate time. But also, I also appeal to the regulators, to CBN, to also help, why the awareness is also going on, why every entity, institution are trying to put the platforms in place to also make the process much more seamless, simplified for users, if they can be able to also extend the timeline a bit further so that, there will be no much pressure or rush in ensuring that, everyone can be able to do the needful accordingly.
Okay, well, time will tell. I know the CBN has best intentions. They're trying to clean up the space, reduce people who eventually become victims of fraud and the likes. But maybe also I should ask: are banking platforms going to suffer when when we get to the 1st of is it 1st of March now?
Yeah, 1st of March.
Will they suffer loss in transactions and the likes when these things happen? Is that a problem?
Okay, I don't really see that being a problem. And to be candid, I would say there is no need to panic, really, as long as everyone carries out what needs to be done.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if they don't, and then we have to, post no debit, on 10 million accounts, 5 million accounts, 20 million accounts, I'm not sure how many, will the financial institutions incur any losses?
Certainly, there will be some form of losses, but again, that does not outweigh the compliance, that needs to be done, especially ensuring that, accounts are well secure and you're able to know who owns an account and who does what. So I believe that outweigh the losses that might, occur, if any.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much, Olusegun, Enitan, Dada, for stopping by and for, of course, sharing these conversations with us.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.